Today, the Syrian people invoke the spectacular legacy of their unique example of sacrifice in defense of their homeland and dignity. al-Zoubi asserts that the presidential elections are a Syrian national measure, affirming rejection of any foreign intervention in this respect. Syrian Arab army units continue their pursuit of terrorists in Aleppo, Idlib and Homs. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our news for today. As the Syrian Arab Army continues its successive victories and sacrifices to restore security and stability to the homeland, our people commemorates Martyrs' Day this year with further determination to defend every inch of the Syrian land in the face of the forces of evil and aggression. The Syrian people are well aware of the bulk of the conspiracy hatched against their country and are resolved either to bring about victory or for martyrs in defense of the homeland's dignity, their land of civilization and great historical heritage. The Syrians today are not fighting the Ottomans or the French occupation. However, they are facing a ferocious terrorist war led by the forces of tyranny in the world, which are supported by some Arab traitors who have chosen to be on the side of the Israeli occupation against those who have opted for resistance and who have renewed the pledge to continue the struggle to safeguard the land of their ancestors. A ceremony in honor of the media and information martyrs and on the occasion of the Martyrs and Arab Journalism Days was held at Dar al-Ba'ath Hall in Damascus.
In his word during the ceremony, Information Minister Omran al-Zoubi said the presidential elections are a Syrian national internal constitutional measure that nobody outside the borders of Syrian state has anything to do with. We accept no one to intervene in this matter or any other purely local national matter. Zoubi stressed that confronting terrorism in Syria and supporting the Syrian Arab Army, as well as all the constitutional steps, including the presidential elections, are national decisions that the UN Secretary General, the American President, the Gulf Stooges, or the Turks are not entitled to comment upon or interfere in. Al-Zoubi said we must choose who protects Syria and the unity of the army and establishments and who confronts terrorism. We must choose who leads the country to safety and who keeps the Syrian flag hoisted over all Syrian territories. On her part, the political and media advisor at the presidency, Dr. Buthaina Sha'ban, said the so-called Arab Spring is nothing but a sectarian, Wahhabi and terrorist winter, serving the interests of the powers that are hostile to our Arab nation and civilization.
On this day, or Martyrs' Day, I would like to say that without a belief in martyrdom, without the culture of martyrdom, our countries would not have been able to liberate themselves from colonizers and occupiers. Unfortunately, although we are in the 21st century, colonizers and occupiers have not given up their attempts to run our countries, to manipulate our wealth, to kill our people, to try and spread their hegemony over our countries. And this is really the secret why they are using all these Wahhabi, Takfiri, extremist people in order to fight our army, to fight our people, to kill our people. But the deeply rooted in martyrdom in our countries, in the fact that we are ready to pay our blood in order to preserve our country, is the best guarantee that these horrible powers, colonizers, will not be able to succeed. They did not succeed in the past, they will not succeed today, they will not succeed in the future.
These people who died today, who all belonged to different fields of media, died trying to communicate a message to the outside world, a message of what was really happening in Syria. A lot of what has been said about Syria, a lot of what has been depicted, has been wrong. Syria has been stereotyped. There have been mixed understandings of what was happening. Those people died trying to say what was really happening, trying to communicate a message of truth to the outside world, and they paid the price for it.
A ceremony was held at the Arab Cultural Center in Kafr Sousa at noon today by the Surya Al-Khair Ladies group on the occasion of Martyrs' Day and in honor of the wounded National Defense personnel. An exhibition of the martyrs' photos was also held on the sideline of the ceremony, which included a cultural seminar with the participation of Dr. Maliki Abyad, poet Khalid Abu Khalid, and media figure Salwa Abbas. Artistic and theatrical performances were presented. A number of the National Defense wounded heroes were honored with symbolic gifts in appreciation of their sacrifices for the sake of the homeland.
I think this activity is very important because it is to put in glorious the whole martyrs in the Arab countries, in the Arab nation, and especially in Syria, which Syria is now conducting a war against people who came from abroad, whom they are stealing our Quran, stealing our land, stealing our spirit. Syria now is fighting not only for Syria, but also for the Arab nation and especially for the Palestinian cause. And I think all sacrifices on the ground of Syria is serving this aim.
Chairman of the Syrian Social Nationalist Party, Ali Haidar, stressed that presidential elections process is a national constitutional activity and taking part in it is a duty and a right of all Syrians. Haidar clarified in a press conference held today that his party has presented its vision for the aspired national change for ending the crisis in Syria based on clear national bases and principles. He declared his party's support to the candidacy of Dr. Bashar al-Assad to the presidency of the Syrian Arab Republic, pointing out the party has withdrawn from Change and Liberation Front due to different viewpoints regarding the issue of constitutional presidential elections. Haidar also stressed his party's rejection of all sorts of tutlek and its insistence on resisting the US-Israeli project in the region, clarifying that solution for the crisis in Syria will be by the Syrians themselves. Spokesman for Iran's Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mardia Afkham, has said that the presidential elections in Syria are a step forward to restore security and stability, calling upon all to respect the right of the Syrians in determining their country's future through elections. She further said that since the crisis in Syria unfolded, Tehran expressed readiness to offer help to find political solution. Afkham highlighted Iran's support to the efforts exerted to politically solve the crisis in Syria, adding that it called on all sides to take practical and realistic measures to reach a genuine political solution to the crisis in Syria. Welcome back. 3 mortar shells fell today on al-Salihiyya and al-Tajhiz district in Damascus, with initial information about injuries among citizens and material damage inflicted on properties. 3 civilians were moreover wounded, and big material damage was inflicted on a house when a mortar shell fell near the French hospital in Al-Qassa. Other shells fell near a cemetery in Al-Maza neighborhood, 1 in Sheikh Saad and 2 behind Al-Mu'asat hospital. A 4th shell also fell in Shora in Al-Muhajirin neighborhood, causing material damage. Syrian Arab army units have carried out operations along Sheikh Najjar al-Brej axis in Aleppo and pursued the remnants of the terrorists, killing or injuring many of them. Syrian Arab army units have foiled an attempt by terrorists to infiltrate from Al-Kurum area north of Aziza village in Aleppo's southeastern countryside to the secured areas, killing 5 of them and injuring others. Other Syrian Arab army units have inflicted heavy losses among terrorists in Khawabi al-Asal, Al-Layramun west of Al-Shurfe, الصفرة, Mara, Castello, Rashidin and Ashqef. In Idlib countryside, Syrian Arab army units have eliminated a number of terrorists. Most of them are non-Syrians in Tell al-Nar in al-Habit area and Ain al-Arus in al-Zawiya mountain. In Homs countryside, Syrian Arab army units have destroyed a terrorist den, killing or injuring many of them in Al-Kharja, Arshuna, Kafarlaha, Talaf, and in various areas in Al-Rastan and Tal Amri, in Ain al-Nasr and Ad-Dar al-Kabira. Finally, Minister of Tourism held a workshop under the title Media of Tourism, a New Vision at Al-Assad National Library, focusing on the role of the local and foreign media in promoting for tourism.
Media of tourism was the focus of the workshop, which underlined the role of the local and foreign media in promoting for tourism and asserted the importance of inserting this kind of media in the academic curriculum. Minister of Tourism Bashir Yazji asserted that the ministry is working on enhancing the openness of the mentality which produces media of tourism to become independent and free, in which journalists are aware of the importance of providing the suitable image which attracts tourists, with the aim of presenting a comprehensive image about the Syrian society that enjoys openness to welcome the others, despite being exposed to fierce attacks by aggressive foreign media which tries to portray this society as a hotbed of extremism. Participants asserted the importance of introducing new mechanisms to create a solid ground for advancement of tourism through media and to have a new vision that would overcome the current challenges facing tourism in Syria at the moment and in the future.
We could have done a better job in talking to travel agents abroad, in talking to the Syrian expatriates, in trying to build a connection or a bridge between the beginnings of a tourist industry here and what is happening over at the other side. There could have been cooperations, memorandums of understanding. I think a lot more could have been done prior to 2011. Now, if you ask me about tourism in the future, I can't see any tourists coming at the moment. I think the tourists might start coming once things quieten down a little bit.
During the workshop, a short movie was screened presenting the most important tourist and archaeological sites in Syria. Also, a number of journalists who are working in the coverage of tourism sector were honored. The workshop was attended by members of parliament, head of the Arab Writers Union, and a crowd of journalists and concerned officials from different ministries.
With this, we end our news for today. Thank you for watching. For more details about Syria and the region and to view this bulletin again, you can always visit our website in English, syriaonline.sy. Now to latest business and market news with Nariman Qassam, but after a short break. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our news for today. As the Syrian Arab army continues its successive victories and sacrifices to restore security and stability to the homeland, our people commemorates Martyrs' Day this year with further determination to defend every inch of the Syrian land in the face of the forces of evil and aggression. The Syrian people are well aware of the bulk of the conspiracy hatched against their country. Martyrs' Day, the Syrian people invoke the spectacular legacy of their unique example of sacrifice in defense of their homeland and dignity. al-Zoubi asserts that the presidential elections are a Syrian national measure, affirming rejection of any foreign intervention in this respect. Syrian Arab army units continue their pursuit of terrorists in Aleppo, Idlib and Homs. And and are resolved either to bring about victory or for martyrs in defense of the homeland's dignity, their land of civilization and great historical heritage. The Syrians today are not fighting the Ottomans or the French occupation. However, they are facing a ferocious terrorist war led by the forces of tyranny in the world, which are supported by some Arab traitors who have chosen to be on the side of the Israeli occupation against those who have opted for resistance and who have renewed the pledge to continue the struggle to safeguard the land of their ancestors. A ceremony in honor of the media and information martyrs and on the occasion of the Martyrs and Arab Journalism Days was held at Dar al-Ba'ath Hall in Damascus.
In his word during the ceremony, Information Minister Omran al-Zoubi said the presidential elections are a Syrian national internal constitutional measure that nobody outside the borders of Syrian state